it looks very innocuous from the outside, and yet it serves a great purpose of just getting that subdued lighting. And I'll take your advice, and I'll just do a separate little air frying sausages.
Farmer John's got a lot of stuff going on in the ground right now.
You already had your sausage. You didn't get that caught on camera. Here I am, all greased. Anyway, it's really freaking good sauce.
He's been working hard.
So anyway, yeah. Anyway, so this has just been fantastic. I have to go. I looked all around the area, but I can't find this reed mat fencing, whatever it is.
Tell us about the plant you have here.
Oh, well, this is a forsythia, Walmart special, but you get good prices at Walmart, for better or for worse. And I just really like the shape. It just reminded me of like an onion, kind of like, or a flower in and of itself. So it's like a bunch of flowers that make up a flower, in a sense, you know, it's kind of like a bud.
In the Pacific Northwest, these also grow wild. You can harvest them, and forsythias grow wild, and they are easy to propagate. They attract a lot of native bird species, and they are great for pollinators.
I remember them from New York. That's why as soon as I saw it at the Walmart, I was like, boom. And this is like, it was cold, rainy, no one was around. I was like, I'm gonna be the first one to buy the plants.
Yeah.
This I got at Deer Creek Nursery, who I gave the shout out last time. This is a different style of rhododendron. I just like the shape of it. And then this was existing, whatever that creature is. These are a bunch of, this actually I brought with me from Oregon.
This creature here, that was already existing?
That was already existing, so
okay.
I'm not really sure what it does.
Okay.
It was looking kind of scraggly by the time I got here, but also hadn't been taken care of. So.
Yeah, and now here come the blooms though.
Yeah. And then in the foreground I have all these like little, you know, well, not color.
Yeah.
Everything is green or brown out here.
El color es importante.
See? And then this is a lilac. Look at this.
Coming back.
I don't smell anything yet, but man, this is going to be getting some great wafting scents into the house. And this is, I don't know what the tag says, but look at this. Almost like Christmas colors.
Pretty bird.
And that's also going to be interesting, whatever the heck it is.
Oh, your flower section over here, huh?
This is a cool, unique plant. It's called a dwarf Japanese, I think called a Pirius.
Okay, yeah.
I think
That looked good on the front porch, huh?
I just thought it was unique, very different looking. And then I like the kind of the different textures and variegations and the coloring of these guys in the middle. Just to kind of break up so much color, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy.
And then this guy's a personal favorite.
Yeah, I know, but you can tell I'm dreading having to plant this one.
I'm a big fan of the desert. I like living near the ocean. I have to be near water, but I have a lot of respect for the desert. A lot of respect for succulent plants. Now, granted, we're in the Northwest, but these needles are mean.
I know.
They're going to poke Mark.
I know.
They're going to get him.
I got to be really careful how I plant this one.
Are you going to put that sucker right in there?
God willing.
At least you get some war wounds from it.
This is a Daphne, which evidently does very well here. I don't know how this broke. So everything is starting to bud. This rhododendron I planted. This is a shade rhodo. And I also planted those over there. You can see just yesterday. So the big one down there, and then that.
Oh, yeah.
I also did those little plants.
Good work. There's one rhodo underneath a cedar tree. You see the bamboo in the background too?
At some point I'm going to feel a little gorgeous.
Absolutely. Another rhodo right here, bunk.
Yeah.
Mark left some room for some future driveway improvements too. Gonna come back out here.
Yeah.
All the way down.
This guy's going to have to go, unfortunately. unless we can transplant him, but otherwise, he's probably hard enough to transplant.
Oh yeah.
We just need to move him back a wee bit.
Strong huckleberry.
And then I did these.
Oh, this is a nice touch.
Yeah, and then I put the two out at the front, just to kind of delineate the driveway a little bit. And the great thing is it's they each have lavender in them, and we know who doesn't like lavender.
I know who does. Me.
You don't like lavender?
I love lavender.
Oh, I was gonna say, but who doesn't like lavender?
Who doesn't like lavender? Tell us.
The deer.
The deer. Keep the deer out.
The deer.
Okay.
F you to the deer.
And then it looks
Sorry,
like you
dear.
got those cypresses
Oh,
planted too.
I had those 3 Walmart. Oh, you haven't been here since the Rhodos and the Lelands were planted, huh?
You showed me all of them around the back, but I didn't see them put in. No,
Oh.
I haven't seen that yet.
So this one I planted. This is a Leland cypress, and this is a Walmart.
Sweet.
It's a little bit different type than those. And then this is another Rhodo, shade Rhodo. And then all of these out at the back are all going to be your sun Rhodos. These are the specialty Rhodos.
Very good.
They just got in down at Bear Creek, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tucker, but I think they're going to be blooming like crazy.
Yeah. Look, you can see them coming already.
Flower buds, not like leaf buds.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
I mean, this is just going to be an explosion. They're all the same kind, which I have a picture over on off the deck. They're called, some Russian name, Anna Karina, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
But this is where I get a lot of my rocks. See, here are a couple of good-sized ones. I just make use of my journeys out here with the wagon, and I dump off debris over there. And in the meantime, I've picked up rocks, and then I just circulate, and then I go back around and I dump them off at the flower bed.
This is Mark's meditation. He goes hard in the dirt.
Look, as long as I can take a shower and wash my clothes, I'll get as dirty as I need to be.
Mark likes to touch his cypress. Now tell us, so this is where, these aren't the trees that you put in, right?
These are. It's the ones behind you.
These are the ones.
Yeah, that's a Doug fir.
Property line.
And those are cedars.
Privacy fence.
Correct. So, and what I did is I planted, you'll notice that I planted in between their trees.
Yes.
And then I planted in between my trees with the Rhodos.
I like the spacing.
Back a little bit.
Yeah. Look at all those rocks over there, Mark.
No.
Looks like you're gonna have a nice pile to pick from over there.
That's what we call the mother load.
The mother load, yes.
But you know what? I'm time in the world.
Yeah.
I don't need to rush it. Plus, I'll tell you, my back, I'm getting sore. I mean, I'm holding up okay, but geez, Louise, I mean, you're doing a lot of crouching tiger, hidden dragon crap out here. You know, you're like planting stuff.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. And then you need a path in here with some wood chips or some rocks too, so you can get your rounds going.
We're gonna do rock. I figure, why do wood chip? Basically the forest is one giant wood chip.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is the contraption.
It's called the sifter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about as effective as that. I'm not going to say anything ill of anything.
He's not saying anything else.
It's a great woodshop project.
Mark's gonna do some little TLC on this sucker here.
But you understand what I'm saying here, because you put anything on, and what happens? It immediately goes off, and there's no lip to hold anything that does, so you can't go back up. It all just comes right down and back up to the ground.
Mark's dissatisfied with the sifter.
So if it was like this, now doesn't that make more sense?
Now it's not just going to run off. So the good thing is, this is the fancy schmancy part. This is for the smaller pea gravel size garbage. This is for the next size up. This is for the juvenile, teenager, adolescent rocks.
Okay.
Not the big daddy rocks,
Mark's getting into aging rocks out here.
I'm just trying to use my resources. I figure this is basically a quarry. Why not utilize it?
This is part of Positively Peninsular. Utilize the resources at hand.
Why not? I mean, take a look at this ground. Seriously. I mean,
This is clay, and very little of it, clay and rock. This is an old riverbed. Why wouldn't I use this?
For those of you that don't know, the Puget Sound area is rich with clay
Rich.
and rocks.
It's a pain in the butt to do. I'll be honest with you.
There's Mark's cart.
Like an old homeless person,
Lucky for you, Mark, you got sticks in it. You look official.
You notice how I didn't empty it last night? It was like the last thing I did. I just parked it over here.
Yeah.
And I thought, this looks really cool. This looks like I've been really working hard.
Yeah. You've been working.
And you notice I left it out here the whole day. So everybody driving past going, whoa, that old dude, he's working really hard.
He's official.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Although that pile doesn't get any smaller, man.
It doesn't. It's not growing. It's not shrinking. I don't know what's happening. Maybe we're stuck in a time warp. Oh, Mark.
What else? What else has been going on? I don't think we need to do the shower. I did move this off the deck, this little greenhouse, because it was very ineffective as a greenhouse. It killed every one of my plants.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna say it killed it. The freezes did. But you know what? For the now, till I get my storage shed,
Yeah.
and it's a garden supply closet,
Yes.
an exterior closet. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Naturally.
Oh, these are the rhodos that are out at the back. I'm gonna cover up the price.
Okay.
Because it's disgusting. But this is the Anna Krushki rhododendron.
Okay. Those are gonna be pretty.
Wow. Yeah, I can't argue with it.
Good work.
Yeah, you know what? Every dog has his day, and I got mine. It must have been a good day for me. Oh, the window boxes. I've planted half of them, but I mean, not window boxes. The railing boxes. Those are going to be spectacular.
Yeah.
And I have 4 more coming. And yeah, it's just maximizing my space and just elevating the eye with color. You know, so you've got color just kind of going from ground level up. It's a nice backdrop against the browns and the greens of the PNW.
Mark's got taste.
I don't know if I have taste. It's like I have an eye for certain things. Like you probably have you have an eye for certain things. Everybody has an eye for certain things.
Come on, Mark, this is positively peninsular. You gotta admit that you got some taste. I mean, come on, look at them colors, man.
But it's like, it's not me choosing the colors. I just go to a place and they don't speak to me. I won't say that bullshit.
Mark's being humble. He's got Farmer John going on. He won't even admit that he's got taste for color.
You know what I grew up figuring out, knowing what a Farmer John was? Do you know what a Farmer John is?
Tell the world.
Oh God, I saw it at a park. I must have been 9 or 10. It just blew me away. I saw this guy. He took like this and he cleared a nostril, and then he did the other one, and it just like shot out.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, and my older brother was like, yeah, that's called the Farmer John, Mark. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, you got to be careful around people. I mean, it's not you like be spraying people.
Oh, did you know people do that on the ultra marathons all the time? Yeah, you gotta watch out.
But this was like, dude, we were like in a park and having a picnic, you know?
Oh yeah.
And he was like,
but you gotta, I mean, you're so close to some people, sometimes it just goes flying, you know? You're like, wow.
Yeah.
You kind of gotta do a
sport,
somersault.
That.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you have to probably pee your shorts sometimes because you can't stop to pee. I would assume you have to do that with Tour de France, maybe.
Oh God.
No, I don't know. I mean,
I've never peed myself on a marathon yet.
No, but I don't know. There might be people that, I don't know how it works. Maybe the extreme thing, I don't know.
One of the best pieces of wisdom I ever got on an ultra marathon was don't trust the fart.
Ooh, why so?
Well, because after you've run 35 miles and you're continuing to run, the body doesn't really know the difference between the two anymore, so much so that you might have a little accidente.
Oh, sharts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's amazing what the body can do. That's part of my contribution to Positively Peninsular.
But I think it's any physical, real like long-term physical, heavy-duty physical activity, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not just running.
Yeah.
But I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Even hot yoga, I've been doing
you've been
a really consistent practice of hot yoga, and I've had some circumstances recently with tree stuff and with running that have been hot yoga is a great resource for
it's like helped heal you in
healing and illuminating weaknesses. I was saying to myself, I could force my body through another decade worth of hard work on it, and then the consequences might catch up, or I could start thinking about those things now and making a positive difference and illuminating the weaknesses in my body now so I can work on them. Shout out to Knees Over Toes guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's about really risk taking. That's just smart physiology or kinesthetics or whatever it's called. So let's talk a little bit about risk taking. Because depending on where you're running, it could be a risk. If you're doing do you do triathlons?
I haven't done a triathlon.
Have you done an Ironman?
No.
Would you? Yeah, of course you would do something.
Absolutely,
of
I would
course you
do
would.
that.
I don't even why bother asking. So how did you get? So here's what, because I think we left off last time with talking about, I wanted to talk about fears.
Yes.
Like, how do you overcome fears?
Okay.
The fears of the unknown, the fears of the, oh my God, I can't do it. The fears of what you'd perceive to be insurmountable. And I'm starting to get cold.
You go inside?
Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Farmer John be chilling. And just nosh on stuff while I won't stand. Tell me what you want and I'll make it happen for you. We could just talk and nosh and all that kind of stuff.
Farmer John's cuisining up now. Oh, there he goes. There he goes.
Just turn on that light. Okay, so we are going to just focus on. All right.
So you wanted to talk about overcoming fears and...
Yes. So I know it can be empowering because I've probably had some instances, but when I think about, and what led me to that question was, I know a little bit about how you grew up, your childhood.
Yeah.
And it was pretty hard, I think. You mentioned, and I think it's okay to talk about it. I think you mentioned that you grew up without like indoor plumbing and.
Yeah, I grew up off the grid. Straw bale house, no running water, no electricity. It was an education.
But that's my point. Is I think most people, having gone through something like that, would come out the other end. And this kind of goes back to the whole reason, even for wanting to do this, is because I thought your story was amazing for someone so young, and I feel like somebody who grew up under those circumstances, off the grid in a straw bale house, etc., would kind of almost grow up bitter, maybe, or jaded, or resentful against whatever, that maybe they didn't have what they perceived everybody else having, or things like that, and that, I think that would probably make you risk averse. I don't know. Again, I can't put myself in your shoes or in your mind in terms of what you were thinking, but I applaud you. I know you'll play the humble card, etc. But I don't know. And that's kind of like what we really met on in terms of thinking was, we both realized, because from outward appearances, if we look like we got it all together, or you probably do have it all together, but I probably come across as relatively all together, but we never know the backstories.
Yeah.
And that's what's fascinating. And then when I heard about your backstory, I was like, how does someone go through that, which I find to be extreme, especially this day and age, because you're pretty young, so it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
That's what's crazy. It's not like it was the 40s or the 50s or something like that, like ancient stuff. It was like recent.
Yeah.
And and you're an only child.
Yeah.
So it's not like you had siblings to bounce things off of, etc. You know, I mean, I just, how did you, because you can't afford to take risks maybe at that stage. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I mean, I haven't lived that way, so I don't know what it's like. So I can't even imagine. I guess if it was me, I wouldn't take risks because I wouldn't feel that I had stability or that I had some type of constance in my life, you know, and that I had kind of a certain level of, you know, I said earlier, just give me a hot shower, a little bit of food, a little bit of water, and let me wash my clothes every now and then.
Yeah.
I can exist for a long time.
Yeah. I think that
You know, and I'm not trying to put things that you didn't feel, and I'm not trying to make you feel like anything that you didn't feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to.
No, not at all. No, I think that taking risks is a means to survival.
Explain that though. Can you give me example from your childhood?
Yeah, I mean, I used to have to. We lived way out in the boonies, you know, and used to have to find my own way home from town.
Now, what kind of distance was this?
Oh, it was miles and miles and miles.
Give a ballpark.
Oh, it was like 14 miles from town.
In one way.
One way. And there was no buses or anything that went out there.
And you guys had no vehicles.
Well, there was a vehicle around, but there was just there was instability in the home,
right.
and so it was just about, you know, making things happen on my own, and it just so happened that a lot of those activities were risky. You know what I mean? And so I think that a tolerance for risk, maybe even a misunderstanding of it, sometimes was just you know, a natural precursor to surviving, you know. And I think that taking care of things in the house was definitely a necessity, and I think that to get some of those things done, it was necessary to take risks as well. And so I think that sometimes, you know, what could be seen as a rough childhood is also just like, you got to take risks to survive because nobody else is coming. I would use my other friend right now. She's down in central Mexico in the state of Veracruz.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their mountain range is on fire right now, and
Is this Popo, the volcano?
No, it's close to Orizaba.
Oh, Orizaba. Okay.
Yeah, and basically she's a big community organizer, but you know, they don't have facilities like we do here in the States. They don't have wildland firefighter outfits. They don't have fire engines. What they have is community and people that care for their mountain. And so there's a whole bunch of community organizers like her that are gathering people together, resources, cars, water, jugs, people, lights, tools, and they're going up there by themselves and they're fighting the fires because the government's not coming. And I would just say, like, you know, when my friend made a great point last night, she said,
Let me get you.
she said, when there is nobody else coming, then you have to do it yourself, and there's no real other choice. And I think the reason I share the stories is because that translates directly to risk taking. Now I think there's another side to it that's a little more unhealthy, which is that, you know, I think for a long time I ran from my own demons, and I think that looked like risk taking. You know what I mean? But I think that even as I face down my own demon, that's why I run. That's why I like climbing mountains. It's because sometimes my demons are buried so deeply inside me that I have to do those extreme events to
it's like a release.
Wrestle with my demons.
It's like a release.
It's a release.
Like a way of coping. I guess a coping.
Or even fighting. I get to fight the things that hold me back most when I do those events. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think it's so humbling to do that. It's humbling to climb trees. It's humbling to run marathons, etc., etc.
See, I guess I would think that given your growing up experience, that you would. I think the normal reaction would be to take a more passive role. I think a lot of kids would probably just kind of almost be like defeated, as opposed to embracing it and trying to take it on and trying to problem solve and figure out how can I make the best out of this particular situation. And you almost maybe have to go hour by hour. Okay, how do I take care of this period of time? How do I move forward?
Yeah. Well, I think that the silent benefactor here is gratitude. You know, I think that gratitude is such a big component of a life well lived. And you know, you and I were having a conversation about traveling to developing countries. And